What's happening, everybody? It's time for Ask Jesse Answers. Great questions this week. As always, I expect nothing less from all of you. Thank you so much for taking the time to ask them. Let's get right to the answers. First one comes to us from Violet Brown, and Violet asks, "Hey Jesse, how do you stay away from getting stressed out when a loved one is ill and it is your responsibility to make medical decisions for them?" That's a great question, Violet. And unfortunately, one of the things that we're all going to have to deal with, likely at some point in our life, is family members getting ill. And unfortunately, there's times where they get ill in a way that they can't make decisions for themselves, and the responsibility may or may not fall onto us to help them out. Whatever happens, remember, there's nowhere in that arrangement that says that you have to be stressed. Stress is something we electively choose. For example, certain cultures will thrive and they plan and look forward to the time when they have the opportunity to step up to and take care of their family. Not because they want their family to be sick or anything, but it's because it's a way for them to almost feel like they're paying back their family for the love that they gave them when they were younger. So they approach it not so much as a stress or a burden, but as a great honor. As a great honor that's been bestowed upon them, that now they're able to take care of and provide for someone who they love very dearly and able to ease their time in their difficult time of life. And so I think that's a very powerful perspective to look at it from, right? Because ultimately what they're doing is they're doing the same thing that you might be or anybody else might be, but how they're approaching it is radically different. When somebody approaches a situation as it's going to be something stressful, guess what you're going to get? You're going to get more stress. Right? There's the adage, our energy is going to go wherever we put our focus at. And if we're putting our focus on being stressed, guess what? We're going to get stressed. But, if we shift our focus and put it on towards something of it, fulfilling a great honor and privilege, guess what we're going to get? A completely different experience. So how you're choosing to look at the situation is what's causing stress. If you don't want to feel stress, I encourage you to look at the situation differently. Does that mean that you're going to be exempt from feeling emotions? Absolutely not. If you have a family member or somebody you love or care about is going through a tough time, your heart's going to hurt for them. Mine would. But that doesn't mean that the situation has to be a bad situation. Your perspective and what you choose to look at the situation as is going to determine that. And think about this. If you're doing it from a place of love, how much more love are you going to be able to give to that person if you're able to do it from a place where you have almost a clear mind and all of your emotion is able to go towards love, and you're not having to divert all that energy to stress? Okay? Number 2 comes to us from Patty Juarez Segura, and I apologize if I mispronounce your name. And Patty asks, how do you make peace with not being in a relationship when all your close friends have found that special someone? So how do you make peace with not being in a relationship when all of your friends have found that special someone? And Patty, I would say this to you. Much like the last question, how you're going to look at this is really going to determine your outcome. And if you're looking at you're the outsider looking in, all your friends are married off or they're in the relationships and they got that person with them, and that makes life fulfilling and complete, you might feel an emptiness. If, however, you look at it and say, you remind yourself and say, well, they've found their special someone, and the reason you're not in a relationship is because you're waiting for that special someone. You're still looking for your special someone. And how great is it knowing that he's out there, he or she's out there? And how great is it to know that you have not settled and just taken a relationship? Because if you wanted to be in a relationship, I'm sure you could be, right? There's nothing keeping you from being in a relationship. But what I'm hearing is you want to be in a relationship with a special someone. A relationship that's going to be fulfilling and lasting. And so looking at it from that perspective can be really powerful. And also, what I would remind yourself is of the gift of time that you've been given right now. Okay, it's exceptionally harder to work on oneself when we have the responsibility of another person in our life. So you have just you and you alone right now. How great is it that if you have your special person out there waiting to be discovered by you, you have all this time to get yourself into the absolute best possible place possible. to get yourself where you want to be health-wise, financial-wise, personal development-wise, relationship with yourself wise, so that when you encounter your special someone, you are full, whole, and complete and able to give them 110% of your love, your life, your energy, your fun, your excitement, whatever it is you want to give them. Because see, so many people jump into relationships because they want to rely on their special someone to make them feel special. And that's not the job of a special someone. A special someone's job is to just be special for themselves, to be their own special person. You get to have a chance to fulfill that job, to become special just for yourself, so special that when you meet your special someone, you're not going to rely on them to make you feel complete. So I encourage you again to use this opportunity to look at the gift it has, ask yourself the gift it is, and ask yourself, what can you do now to really advance yourself to get to that place you want to be for your special someone. And remind yourself too that you're not in the relationship because you're not willing to settle. That your standard is so high that you're not going to settle for anything less than that special someone. I have no doubt that they're out there. It's just going to be how hard are you willing to look for them? Usually when we're not willing to settle, we have a much smaller pool to pull from. We're kind of looking for those needles in the haystack. But if you're willing to look hard enough, you will find the needle. Okay, guys, great questions this week. Thank you so much for taking the time to ask them. I hope you all enjoyed this. I hope you found value in it. If you did, please share the video with your friends and family. And I look forward to doing this with you again in a week. We'll talk to you then.